Hello my dear students, welcome to Sai Niketan online biology classes. So this is day 4 of reproduction in organism. In third session, means in last video, we just started the sexual reproduction topic, under which the one topic covered under the pre-fertilization unit. Sexual reproduction means, so in which the gametes which are produced in the opposite sex united and zygote is formed, that zygote develop into the new organism. So here the meiosis and fertilization, both events will occur, yes, but the sexual reproduction is very slow, elaborate and very complex process. To categorize in this one means compartment, means the sexual reproduction is divided to 3 stages. The fertilization is the main one. Almost all the events which will take place just before the fertilization, they are called the pre-fertilization event, and the event occur after the fertilization is called the post-fertilization. Under pre-fertilization event, one topic we covered, that is the gametogenesis. So pre-fertilization include, first one is the gametogenesis. So in which we are seeing that the gametes are the haploid cells in which the single set of chromosomes are there, but the type of division, either it is a mitosis or meiosis. If the organism follow the haplontic life cycle, means if they are haploid one, by the mitosis only they produce the gametes one. If the organism the diploid one, then the gametes are produced by the meiosis process. But presence or absence of the sex organ, the sexuality is decided. The organism is either unisexual or bisexual. Similarly, the organism either it is a monoecious or dioecious, or otherwise homothallic or heterothallic, otherwise it is a hermaphrodite. Many terminologies are there, but they give the same meaning: monoecious, bisexual and homothallic, hermaphrodite. So they means its mean is same one, they are bisexual. So dioecious, unisexual and heterothallic, it means same, they are unisexual, yes. So sexuality also we covered. So after that one table we covered in which the ploidy of meiocyte and gamete is mentioned one. Now what is a meiocyte means? That is a gamete mother cell. In diploid organism, the specific means special cells are present in the gonads. They undergo meiosis and produce the haploid gamete. The ploidy of meiocyte and ploidy of gametes. So that table is very important from the exam point of view. So just memorize that. Yes. So gametogenesis is over. Now next topic is gamete transfer. Gamete transfer means fertilization means it is nothing but the fusion of male and female gamete. So to carry out the fertilization, both the male gamete and female gamete have to be brought together physically nearby each other. Yes, that's why gamete transfer is a prerequisite. So gamete transfer means if the organism is a bisexual one, sometime internal fertilization means self-fertilization takes place. If it is a unisexual one, fertilization takes place outside the body or in different organism. So that requires some special mechanism. Gamete transfer means if you consider the plant kingdom or even the animal kingdom, yes. So different mechanisms are there, but ultimately they follow the same rule: fertilization, post-fertilization. So gamete transfer. So for example, if you take the plant kingdom, yes, in plant kingdom, here algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, angiosperms. These are the main group. So if you take this one, these two are aquatic, means specifically algae are aquatic. The bryophytes are the amphibians of plant kingdom. They also depend on the water medium. But the pteridophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms. So some pteridophytes also aquatic one, but gymnosperms and angiosperms almost they are the terrestrial. Here, so in algae and bryophyte, so even in pteridophytes, the gametes are released, but where the fertilization takes place, that is the deciding factor. In algae, the gametes are released in the aquatic medium. Even in case of this also, bryophyte and pteridophyte. Yes, but difference means as the evolution occurs, initially in the simple algae, fertilization takes place outside only, but in bryophyte, pteridophyte, fertilization takes place inside the female reproductive part, that is the archegonia. Yes, but difference is, in this case, the number of production of gamete is a major concern. If they are isogamete, means if the gametes are like this one, if the both gametes are morphologically and structurally similar one, both the gametes have to produce in the large quantity. Fertilization is external one. But if you take the bryophyte pteridophyte one, the male gamete is an anthrozooid and the female gamete is a egg which is present in the archegonia. So in this case, the antheridium is like this structure. Yes. In this one, anthrozooids are produced. Archegonia is like this structure. Inside, egg is there, and these are the some cells. Yes, the anthrozooids which are produced in this one, they have to enter into archegonia. That's why in bryophytes, this anthrozooids require the thin film of water for the mobility. That's why the bryophytes are called the amphibians of plant kingdom. Here they require the water. But in this case, gymnosperms and angiosperms, again the egg is present inside the ovary. Means this is a gynoecium, angiosperm. This is the anatropous ovule. Yes. Inside to that one, egg is there. This is the embryo sac, which is a 7-celled 8-nucleus structure, and these are the stamens. Yes. So the flower may be bisexual or unisexual. If it is a bisexual, self-pollination, fertilization occurs. If it is a unisexual, again in angiosperms, it required pollination process. Yes. Pollination means that is the transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma surface. Here, the male gametes are present inside the pollen grain, which is either 2-celled or 3-celled structure. This is a vegetative cell, this is a generative cell. Means this is the male gamete and this is the female gamete. Yes, gamete transfer means ultimately in this case male gametes have to be transferred toward the female gamete only. But based on the habitat, they are transferred on. If you take the aquatic organism, the gametes are released into water medium. In gymnosperms and angiosperms, gametes are released outside. It is carried by either wind, either insects, so towards the female reproductive part. So ultimately, if they are isogamous, both gametes are produced in large number. In this case, the pollen grains are very small and embryo sac is very large. So in higher organisms, higher plants one, so the gametes are show anisogamy or oogamy. Anisogamy means one gamete is smaller, another gamete is little bit larger. Yes, but both are motile. But in oogamous, the male gamete is very small and motile. Female gamete is very large and it is a non-motile. This isogamy, anisogamy, oogamy, this topic we covered one. In lower plants, mostly isogamy is there. In higher plants, oogamy is there. Means the male gametes are produced in millions number. Female gametes numbers is reduced one. Usually they are 1 or 5. So this is about the gamete transfer in the plant kingdom. Means specifically in next chapter we are going to cover this pollination in next chapter. Here pollination topic we are going to cover here. So where the different agents are involved. So pollination is either self-pollination or cross-pollination, either wind pollination, water pollination, or the zoophily. So this is elaborated in the next chapter. So when you take the animal kingdom one, here also, where they are living, it is a deciding factor. If the organisms are living in the water medium, for example, if you take the fishes and amphibians, yes, they release their gametes inside out, means in the water medium. Fertilization is external. If you take the reptiles, aves and mammals, so fertilization is internal. So in this case, the gametes are released into the female reproductive tract. So to release the male gamete into the female reproductive tract, special mechanism is required. That is nothing but the copulation. That is a sexual interaction. So in animal kingdom also, in lower organism, gametes are released into the water medium. Fishes, amphibians. Yes. In higher organism, reptiles, aves and mammals, the gametes are released into the female reproductive tract. So this is about the plant kingdom. When you take the animal kingdom, yes, so in case of fishes and amphibians, yes, so here the fertilization is external one. The gametes are released into the water medium. But in case of, even in the invertebrates, in case of birds, first of reptile, reptilian, birds and mammals. In this case, fertilization is internal. The male gamete is released into female reproductive part. So in this case, the special activity is required between the male and female. That is nothing but the sexual interaction or the copulation. Yes. So here also the organism which is living in the which habitat, it is a deciding factor. So the gamete transfer is almost over. Near. So pollination is a special topic we are going to cover in the next class one. After gamete transfer, next one is the fertilization. That is the most important topic. Yes, fertilization means, so now fertilization, this is nothing but the fusion of male and female gamete. Yes, so it is also called as a semen. Yes, so now fertilization is a deciding factor. So here, where the fertilization occurs, based on the medium, fertilizations are two types. So external fertilization and internal fertilization. So try to distinguish this one and try to understand what is the major difference. External fertilization means, so this will take place in the dioecious organism and the lower organism. Yes, for example, if you take the algae, even fishes and the amphibians and some lower invertebrates. So the site of fertilization means the fertilization occur outside the body. Here fertilization occur inside the female body, specifically the reproductive part. So in this case, external fertilization is there. So here a little bit chance factor, means the union of the gamete may occur and may not be occur. That's why, so the number of produced in this case large number of gametes produced. Yes, both male and female gamete. Yes, so because this is not a sure method. So this process will not guarantee that the both gamete will unite and produce the zygote. That's why, to compensate the loss of gamete 1, both the gametes are produced in the millions number. In this case, so usually male gametes are produced in large number compared to female gametes. So if you take even the bryophyte, pteridophyte, angiosperms, gymnosperms, in this case the female gamete, which is the egg one, which is present inside the ovule, but the male gametes are pollen grain, means male gametes are the spores one, which are present in the pollen grain. They are produced in the millions number. So condition is same, means what is the strategy, means in this case usually isogamy is there, both gametes are motile and they concentrate more on the mobility. But in this case, the female gamete is a stationary or the non-motile one. The male gamete have to come toward the female gamete. That's why the size of the male gamete is reduced one, and the size of the and cytoplasma content is reduced. The female gametes became larger one. They are the non-motile. So in this case, usually gametes are like this. So this is a male gamete and this is a female gamete. But in this case, male gametes are very, very small and female gametes are very, very large. Yes. So this is a non-motile, this is a motile one. Now, this is a sure method. This is a not sure. Means fertilization take place, means the union of gamete take place or not. It is not a it is a chance factor. But this is sure method. Means in this case, out of 1000 gametes, at least one gamete will fertilize with the female gamete. So here fertilization definitely occurs. So now next, indirectly, if the fertilization takes place outside the body, then the zygote or embryo is vulnerable to predation. Here, zygote or embryo is well protected. So the fertilization is outside one. The loss of gametes also occur. Even after the fertilization, if the zygote form and the embryo develop one, that is susceptible to the predation one. Means the survival rate is very, very less here. That's why large numbers of gametes are produced. In this case, the fertilization takes place inside the female reproductive part. That's why the embryo, the zygote or embryo present inside the female body only. Here parental care, means protection is there and parental care is there. Here indirectly, in this case, the survival rate is very, very less compared to the survival rate, the internal fertilization. So for example, External fertilization means here, example, algae, then fishes and amphibians. In this case, internal fertilization means bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, angiosperms, reptiles, birds, and mammals. So simply the lower organism show the external fertilization, higher organism means higher plants show the internal fertilization. Here almost the gamete size is almost same one, large number of both gametes are produced in large number. In this case the male gamete number is large compared to the female gametes. So this is about the external fertilization and internal fertilization. Now next major question, whether the fertilization is obligatory required for the sexual reproduction or what? Means if the fertilization will not occur, what happens? So that is related to this one only. So one more topic will come, that is called the parthenogenesis. Yeah. So just we will cover that. Yes students, whether the fertilization is required or not, that is a basic question. So next topic is the parthenogenesis. Parthenogenesis means, so this is also called as a apomixis or virgin birth. Yes, we come to know. Parthenogenesis means it is the formation of new individual or organism, the development of complete individual or organism from unfertilized gamete. Usually, in most cases, egg develops into new organism. Yes, so this is a phenomena take place in some specific organism. Parthenogenesis means it is apomixis. It is a type of asexual reproduction where the meiosis take place but fertilization will not take place and ultimately new organism develop. This is the development of new individual or the organism from the unfertilized gamete. In most cases the egg, the female gamete develop into the new individual. Yes, so this is first discovered by the Charles Bonnet and the term given by the Richard Owen. So this is first time seen by the Charles Bonnet and the term given by Richard Owen. Yes. So parthenogenesis means, so based on the which on individual develop. So usually the parthenogenesis is classified into the natural parthenogenesis and artificial parthenogenesis. Here, under natural parthenogenesis, again three types are there. So parthenogenesis is two types. One is natural. Second one is artificial. Under natural parthenogenesis, again three types are there. So based on the the gender of organism, whether the male develop or the female develop. First one is Arenotoki. Yes, Areno means male, Toki means bird. In this case, Arenotoki means the unfertilized egg or the gamete will develop into unfertilized gamete develop into male individual. Yes, so that's why it is called the Arenotoki. So this means unfertilized gamete means it is a haploid one. So this is a haploid parthenogenesis male. Clear? So Arenotoki means in this case unfertilized gamete develop into the male individual. So this is seen in almost example honeybee, spider, tick, mite and wasp. So Arenotoki is seen in the honeybee. If you see the honeybee one, in honeybee the fertilized egg develop into the queen or the worker. Clear? The unfertilized egg develop into drone. That is a male one, haploid male one. So in spider, tick, mite and wasp, Arenotoki is seen. Next one is Teleiotoki. Here, Arenotoki means it is a male one. Yes, Teleio means this is a female. In this case, the unfertilized gamete into female individual. Yes, the gender change. So Arenotoki means it is a haploid parthenogenesis where the unfertilized gamete develop into male form. Teleiotoki means it is a same case. In this case, diploid egg develop into the new individual, that is a female one. Teleiotoki is seen in, it is examples. The Teleiotoki is seen in crustacean, which is Arthropoda, salamander, it is a lizard-like organism, then grasshopper, yes, and in the moths. Yes, if the male develop, then it is Arenotoki. If the gamete develop into female one, that is a Teleiotoki. Next one is the Amphitoki. Amphi means both, either male or female. So in this case, the organism develop into either male or the female one. This is seen in aphids. Yes, so many names are given: honeybee, spider, tick, mite, wasp, crustacean, salamander, grasshopper, aphid. But in NCERT textbook, the parthenogenesis is seen in only 4 types of organisms. They are given honeybee, they are given. Yes, then rotifers. Rotifers, these are the wheeled animal. Rotifers, then some lizard they mentioned, and turkey. It is a bird one. So only 4 organisms in rotifers, honeybee, lizard, and turkey. In this case, the parthenogenesis is seen. Yes. So this is about the natural parthenogenesis: Arenotoki, Teleiotoki, Amphitoki. Artificial means, so this takes place based on the situation. So The parthenogenesis may be main reason means either it is obligatory. Obligatory means in this case, if the male organisms are not available for the sexual reproduction, then the female will not depend on the male. So directly the egg will develop into net organism. So if the male organism absence is there, then most of the case female can develop into the new organism. This is obligatory parthenogenesis due to the absence of the one partner. Next one is the periodic or the cyclic one. Periodic means in some organism the temperature is a deciding factor. Means in the beginning of the spring, at the end of the spring, so the gender is decided. So the parthenogenesis is either obligatory or the cyclic pattern. Cyclic pattern means for time being they produce the male one, after that they again produce the sexual. Next one is the amphitoky is different. Artificial means the parthenogenesis can be manipulated by the human being by stimulating the gamete, either by the physical or the chemical stimuli. So chemicals like the alcohol, phenol, esters or even benzene, so if applied for the gametes one, sometimes they develop into new individual. Physical stimulus means change in temperature or even the radiation, so they stimulate the parthenogenesis. So parthenogenesis is a bypass, means here meiosis occur but fertilization is skipped one. So even then the new organism develops. But major confusion factor means one more term is there, that is the parthenocarpy. In next chapter it is going to come. During the examination, student may get confused. Parthenogenesis and parthenocarpy. Yes. So genesis means development of new organism. Carpy means development of the fruit. Means egg. Means so parthenocarpy means it is related to the botanical term. Parthenogenesis means it is related to the zoological term. Yes. So this is about the parthenogenesis one. Next one is a post-fertilization event. So that also we are going to finish in this same session only with the short break. So the last most important is the post-fertilization event. So here only two topics are there. Post-fertilization means the event which occur after the zygote formation. So once the fertilization occurs, zygote is formed. Fertilization means that is the fusion of male and female gamete. Just after the fusion of the both male and female pronucleus, diploid cell is formed. That is nothing but the zygote. So under post-fertilization event, the two topics we are going to cover. First one is these are the zygote one. Second one is embryogenesis. Yes, post-fertilization means structure. Zygote is a post-fertilization structure. It is a post-fertilization structure means the zygote form only after the fertilization. So this is a single cell, but diploid, means zygote is always single cell and it is a diploid in nature because both the pronucleus are fused. Now, what is the fate of this zygote? What will happen? The development of complete organism for the particular pattern, that is nothing but the embryogenesis. So embryogenesis means, so this is nothing but development or formation of embryo from zygote. Yes, the embryo is a multicellular, zygote is a single cell or the unicellular. So the formation of embryo from the zygote, so the embryogenesis will take place almost all the multicellular organisms. So for the embryogenesis, two processes are required. First one is cell division. Second one is the cell differentiation. Now, what is the difference? Gametes are produced by the meiosis one. Cell division means this is a repeated mitotic division. Yes, by which the number of cells increased. Clear? So whether in all organisms mitosis take place or not. So it all depends on the type of life cycle. If it is a haplontic life cycle, then just after the fertilization meiosis takes place, only to attain the ploidy. If it is a haplodiplontic or the diplontic one, so zygote undergo mitotic division and produce the embryo. Now by the cell division, only mitotic division takes place and the number of cells increase one. All the cells are similar. Cell differentiation means after forming the many number of cells, here some differentiation means some characteristic changes, their function changes gradually. Due to the differentiation, different type of tissue, different type of organ and organ system develops one. Yes, cell differentiation means due to which one different types of tissue, organ system formed. So ultimately, in almost all the multicellular higher organisms, after the zygote formation, first is the cell division, repeated mitotic division take place. After that one, in higher organism, germinal layers are formed. From that germinal layer, different tissue organs are formed. Even if you take the plant kingdom also, the initially meristematic cells are there. They are the initial means these meristematic cells undergo repeated mitotic division, and after differentiation only parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, even xylem, phloem, different types of tissues are formed. So ultimately, for the development of complete organism, cell division and cell differentiation is necessary. Yes. So once the embryo is formed, so that develop and form the new organism means complete individual form. But based on the mode of birth, the organisms are again classified into three classes, that is ovipary, ovovivipary, next one is vivipary. In NCERT textbook, only ovipary and viviparous organisms are given. What is the difference? So once the organism forms, the completely developed organism has to come outside the either egg, either from the female reproductive body one. So ovipary means, in this case, these are the egg laying one. Vivipary means these are the placental one, means egg laying, they are giving birth to anyone. Yes, try to understand this one. Ovipary means these are the organisms which lay egg. Example, frog and birds, even reptiles. So when you observe amphibians and even the birds and reptiles, they lay egg. In reptilian or the fishes one, fertilizer means in reptilian one, fertilization in birds and reptilian, fertilization is internal. The developing embryo present inside the calcareous means shell. Clear? So the egg is retained within the body, where the eggs are laid outside. Clear? After particular period of incubation period, the egg one come outside. So the ovipary means they are the egg laying animal. Example, the birds and the reptilian one. Ovipary means they are giving birth to young one. So this, in this one, only most of the mammals will come. Yes, not all the mammals. So in mammals also, protherian, metatherian and the eutherian types of mammals are there. So these are the eutherian one. Most of the mammals means, for example, if you take the cow, buffalo, even the human beings one, fertilization take place, then the embryo implantation, then the complete gestation period is complete one. Only after the completion of complete development, the young one will come outside the female body. That is called the oviviparous. These are the animals which give birth to young one. Example, most of the mammals. In between this one, ovovivipary is there. So example, some sharks and rattlesnake. What happened in this ovivipary? In this case, fertilization is internal. The young one is retained within the body, that is also inside the egg. Clear? So here, the basic difference means in this one, the young one developed with the help of the yolk which is present inside there. Vivipary means the young one is completely dependent, means the embryo is completely dependent on the mother body for the nutritional purpose. So nutrition is supplied through the placenta. Yes, there is a physical connection. But in this case, the young one is present inside the egg. Egg is retained within the body, but placental connection is not there. Clear? And these also give birth to young one. Clear? But the still young one is present inside the egg one. So these are the in between this one ovovivipary. Here placental connection is absent one. So these example shark and the rattlesnake. So this is about the type of birth in the animal kingdom. Now next one, in plant kingdom, what happens after the fertilization? So major changes take place. So the changes are given very briefly. What are the changes means? After fertilization, if you take the flower, so this is gynoecium, this is androecium, yes, and these are the petals, and this is the calyx. So what happened after fertilization? Fertilization means male gamete is transferred here, pollination occurs, pollen tube develop, double fertilization occur. Inside this one, embryo is there. Whatever the changes, the calyx corolla will weather. Yes. So this is a embryo. Inside the egg is there. So ovule turn into seed. Ovary is transformed into fruit. Yes. Then ovary wall turn into the fruit wall, that is called pericarp. So these are the major chunks. Means ovule, ovary, ovary walls are the pre-fertilization structure. Seed is the product of fertilization, means sexual reproduction. Fruit is formed from the ovary. Pericarp is nothing but the fruit wall. When you observe the mango, so this is the mango. So inside seed is there. Yes. So pericarp is again divided into epicarp, mesocarp and endocarp. So that will come in the next chapter 1. So this is about the post-fertilization structure and the event under which the zygote is the first product, which is nothing but the single cell diploid structure. It is a representative of the next generation. So once the zygote will form, zygote undergo repeated cell division only to increase the number of cells. So after that one, embryo means cell differentiation takes place. So cell differentiation results in the formation of different type of tissue, organ and organ system. Sometime in some organism, the part of the body develop into complete organism, that is called morphogenesis. That is nothing but the asexual reproduction only. Clear? So after the complete development of organism, in animals the organisms are classified into either oviparous, viviparous or the ovoviviparous. Oviparous means these are the egg laying. Viviparous means these are the organisms which give birth to young one. Ovoviviparous means these are the in between. They retain the egg inside the body. The young one will come outside. Here the nutritional supply from the yolk. Here the nutritional support from the placenta. Here again placental connection is totally absent. In plant, after fertilization, ovule turn into seed, ovary turn into fruit, and the ovary wall turn into the pericarp. These are the post-fertilization transformation. So this is the end of first chapter. This is only synopsis. In next class, we are going to solve the MCQs. Yes. So till then, just revise the chapter completely. So we'll meet in the next video. Till then, take care. Goodbye.